And some of you might be surprised at some of the findings. The deals with the most cost-based synergies fail most often. And yet that's what we're usually looking for, right? We want a big overlap so we can cut this and cut that, and yet they fail most often. And I won't steal all the thunder from the book, but just very quickly using an example of the bank consolidation in the U.S. that took place and often resulted in failed mergers from a shareholder value perspective. Think about what those cost synergies are. Gee, we can close branches, we can reduce staff, and all these great things you think are going to create value. But guess what? It's a consolidating industry, and you're not the only ones looking at this target. So there's going to be a negotiation based on all of those transparent, very transparent synergies. Anybody can drive up and down the street and identify the branches that were closed at Bank A merged with Bank B. So that's just a bit of an illustration of why it's happening, but it's the failure rates of cost-based deals are very high. So the book goes through where value can be created beyond the transparent opportunities, beyond the obvious, a comprehensive review of the value creation opportunities in cost-based mergers. We then, in the subsequent chapter, look at more revenue-based strategies. And in fact, it's the revenue-based synergies that have outperformed the cost-based synergies. So mergers that have been done based on an opportunity to sell Company A's products through Company B's channels. If they've done it well, they perform very well for shareholders. However, they're hard, and directors and senior executives often look at them and call them soft synergies. They want to see the hard synergies. They want to see, what factory is going to close, what staff are going to be fired, and when you start talking to them about revenue synergies, they say, "Oh, that's fuzzy stuff. We don't believe that. We're going to discount it." So there are challenges there too, and in fact, they're discounting it for good reason. Most companies aren't very good at achieving those revenue synergies. So, considering the challenges and risks in both cases, part one, some might stay on the sidelines, but part one of the book asserts that the greatest, and I'll quote, "the greatest risk for a company that chooses not to play in a consolidating industry is that the company becomes subscale and thus uncompetitive and ultimately unattractive even as a target." So the industry's moving on. You can't stand still